I had been doing a lot of self-education. We did a couple of flips 10 odd years ago for my father as the financier, private money and all that. We did the flips. You described and explained your systems and how the programs work together, and they do a lot of the work for you. It does streamline everything, and that was just sexy. I need that.
So you got it for 18 was the walk away.
Right.
So you listed it on the MLS. So how much did they put down on it?
He gave us 10.
You're holding 40. And what percent interest did you finance it for?
I think it's 8.
This is in Texas, right?
Yeah, I'm actually still kind of, did that happen?
Yeah.
How long do you really want to suffer where you're sitting right now? Because I was. How long do you want to suffer? Jump in. You got to make a decision. And I feel like I did the right one.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another client highlight. Today, I'm with my buddy Dan, who just did his first deal, and so we're going to talk about it. You've got a cool win, cool story that will inspire a lot of people. So this video is really for people who are maybe already in our program, and it's also people who have no idea, who we are, what we're about, what we do, that sort of thing. So Dan, let's start from the beginning. A lot of people who join REI Automated or are thinking about joining REI Automated feel a little bit stuck. Maybe they're not closing enough deals. They're kind of just like spinning their wheels, getting traction, getting educated, whatever you want to call it. Where were you at in your business and in your life prior to finding REI Automated? Like, what was the thing that was holding you back?
Well, I had been doing a lot of self-education. We did a couple of flips 10 odd years ago for my father as the financier, private money and all that. We did the flips, big expansions on the houses. We moved 2 pier and beam homes from Houston out to the country on their own individual lots and
Nice.
expanded them and updated and all that. And those were his income. That deal paid off our property, bought a small excavator because I was running equipment and renting excavators. I decided I needed to own one. So it turned out to be a really sweet deal. And over the years, we never got back into it because we had no knowledge. Those 2 houses, when we bought our land, my father said, I want to sell this property. He was going to take 230,000 or whatever it was. We got him a lot more. It was in the
Wow.
inner loop
Good.
in Houston. And my wife Kendi got him $500,000 for the property, but the deal was, please get rid of these houses. They didn't want to demo. So we had this dropped in our laps. There were a lot of hiccups, but we got away with it. One contractor ran up the bill pretty bad on us, and
Yeah.
we still got away with it. So at any rate, 10 years later almost, I came across you. I've been doing a lot of self-education, following the bigger pockets and reading some books, Kiyosaki and things like
Yeah.
that. I follow what's his name? Ken McElroy. He's a
Yeah.
big,
Cool.
you know who he is.
Yes, I do.
I love his knowledge, but, never really got into it again. But I was at the post office for a few years. I'd now run heavy equipment for Harris County, which Houston is in. I'm tired of it. But I ran across you, I don't know, last year sometime about this
Yep.
time, I guess. And about this time last year, I was also deployed for FEMA. That's
Yep.
what I do, what I moonlight doing. And that gets me into a lot of homes to see, how people live essentially, but
Right.
meeting people, interacting, and calling people.
Yeah.
Because I walk around with a tablet all day and I have to call these people. They're expecting me,
Yeah.
but it helps me. I guess it's kind of a pre-training in a way because I've got a lot of mental blocks. I will look at that tablet for an hour before I call.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that weird anxiety thing. I'm
Sure.
riddled with anxiety. So I jumped in with y'all. I was very slow to start, as you recall.
Biggest reason, before we get further than that, you
Yeah.
jumped in with us. What was the biggest reason why you jumped in at the time?
Well, the training is great, but I think I already had a lot of that. The training on your system itself, of course, that's pure gold. It was a great refresh and it expanded greatly as well. Put things in order, I think, in a lot of ways. So, I did start watching all of the videos, going through that, and I still need to go through it again just because, you just over and over and over again, pound it
Yeah.
in. I've got a good memory, but it ain't that great.
Yeah.
But I started buying leads off of need to sell my house fast, motivated sellers now.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
started getting leads, and finally, it took a lot because again, it's that calling and the dedication and the uh, the discipline to call every day and all of this. Um,
Yes.
that we're so busy. We've got 3
Right.
different businesses, and it's just hard. So,
Tell me about that. You have 3 different businesses. That's a
yeah, yeah. Well, I have my day job with Harris County, but
Mhm.
we work 4 tens. Now, those 4 days, I am dead after well, I get home close to 6.
Yep.
So after laundry, eat something, I'm pretty much over. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. It's hard for me to do anything else. But the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that I'm off, we are at her little boutique. We have a little
Mhm.
shop in town where we sell our art. I dabble in stained glass, and she does all kinds of other jewelry and knickknacks and statuary. And it's cottage core is the theme, not necessarily pagan or any of that, but there's some of that mixed in, of course.
Yeah.
But whimsy, we like to call it. But we're there 3 days a week, and it's an expensive venture in time. We're actually about to shut that down for the time being because the
Okay.
rent and all that.
Yeah.
But we do have some fun, and we've met some people and made some friends. So it's not a
Yeah.
total loss. But I also moonlight as an excavator operator, equipment
Yeah.
operator. When I just bid at this $15,000 pond job. I'll have to
Cool.
take vacation to do it if she accepts.
Yeah.
But so my time is pretty much soaked up.
Yeah. Where when was it? Where were you? Like, you guys are super, super busy. Even your wife, like, where were you when you finally just, like, everyone reaches this pivotal moment where they need to make the decision. They're like, "I have decided, like, this is gonna be more than just a little side hustle. Like, I need a proven system. I'm going to do real estate." And
Right.
and then
I've
what
had
pushed
it.
you to reach out to me?
Well, I've had the bug for a while, ever since we did the flips. We just didn't know how to get back in. And,
Okay.
of course, everybody's story is I don't know how to get the money because we don't have the money for that. We're
Yeah.
barely surviving.
Yeah.
3, 4 enterprises going on. So I did come across you, and I had been to the Texas REIA, and they want like 40 grand.
Yeah, that's right. We talked
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, right. Then there's another one that well, is it not Bigger Pockets, but the Thad, the football player guy.
Fortune builders, yeah.
Fortune Builders. Yeah, I went to one of their deals and that was fun, but they
Yeah.
want 50 grand. Yeah, yeah. So, we came across you and we had a conversation. I loved your attitude and okay, I'm in. So, and for not near that, but we've been slow to start and I kind of hate that, but it are what it is. There was, you know, what it's that sense of desperation. Here I'm pushing 50. I have made a lot of bad choices I drank away 20 years. I am a recovered or recovering alcoholic by my own admission, 14 years running now in October. So free of
Good.
that. But
That's so good.
so there's that urgency. I wasted 20 years of my life. My entire youth is gone. And it's time. It's time. We're getting older. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do the hard labor in the sun. It isn't all an air conditioned
Long
machine.
days.
A lot of times you're in the sun with an 80-pound concrete sack on your back. It's time. And it was, that F it, do it, I like to say.
Yeah.
Um, you just gotta finally just do it.
So you had talked about these other groups that you had considered going with, and you had even gone to their events, and everyone has doubts before, making a commitment to sign up for something. What fears or hesitations did you have? And you said, I liked your attitude. I don't know whether you're talking about the bad attitude or the good attitude, because I definitely have an attitude. What was, even though you have this hesitation, so I want you to talk about what was the hesitation, but even though you had this hesitation, what was it that caused you to move forward with us anyway?
Well, you were far less costly. I mean,
Okay.
that was a big factor, but you described and explained your systems and how the programs work together, and they do a lot of the work for you. A lot of that dirty, grimy work on numbers that it takes weeks to do. This thing does it in 20 minutes. Not necessarily shortcuts. You're still digging up all the info and feeding it, but
Yep.
it does streamline everything. And that was just sexy.
Yeah.
I need that. you know,
Yeah. Especially with
but
how.
yeah, yeah. And hey, we're getting older and we don't have time to be, messing around.
Yeah.
So
Now, can we talk about that? How old
yeah,
are you?
I will be 50 in February.
Okay, that's kind of what right around the age that I thought. So something that
Yeah.
I get a lot is, Keith, I'm not very tech savvy. Would you
Mm.
consider yourself tech savvy or not tech savvy?
Around 2020, Windows 95. I was graduating from ITT Tech, and I have that stupid little paper on the wall says I'm a draftsman. And after that, I got a stupid little job for, I don't know, 6.5 an hour. And I left
Okay.
that job after about 6 months to go to a machine shop and work my way up to being a machinist. It started off at $2 more. And then I worked my way up to near 20. Well, I was also moonlighting as an IT specialist. I was Microsoft A plus certified for a few years in that
Okay.
time frame, up to around 2020 and the tech bust and all that. And then I gave it up. There was just too much competition. I couldn't hang anymore. I had no clients anymore. But I used to be tech savvy and I can get along with the computers. I run Linux now. I don't mess with Windows. And if you run Linux,
Cool.
it's a little more tech involved.
Yeah.
Not much, but there's some compatibility issues you have to type out in the command line occasionally to get things to work. But it's not bad. I am not the tech savvy I used to be. So, but I can run a tablet and a phone and all that pretty well. So I'm probably more advanced than most my age.
Cool. Let me ask you this then. So for anybody who's listening and they don't know what our pillars are with REI Automated, I'll just break it down for everybody in 60 seconds. So we have 3 pillars that REI Automated rests on. Pillar number 1 is education. So that's the 12 courses that you went through: marketing, sales and negotiation, deal structure, deal analysis, raising private money, so on and so forth. That's pillar number 1, which is education. Then pillar number 2 is operating systems. Sometimes it's a system and sometimes it's a software that is the system, right? So it's like, hey, Dan, I just told you that speed to lead is really important. We need to be getting in contact with our sellers, and we're going to do that through our CRM. I just told you, I just taught you how to talk and how to triage a seller, how to talk to somebody who wants to sell their house. And here's the script that you're going to do that with. So it's the tool and the resource that you need in order to systemize what I've just taught you. So that's pillar number 2, which is operating system. And then pillar number 3 is support. So we have community leaders. We have 3 days a week. We have office hours with me. You have a client success manager. You have the community to rely on, so on and so forth. There's a lot of support. Those are the 3 pillars, I believe, that you have to have all 3 of these ingredients in order to have a successful real estate investing business. My question is for you, which one of those 3 pillars was it initially when you signed up where you said that is going to be what makes a difference? And then the second question is it the same one that you're super thankful for now, or has it changed to something different?
It's hard to say it's a single thing. The whole thing is great, but the system, the programs that streamline it, I think save me because that tedium will kill me. The education is great, and it is much more thorough than I had even planned on, thought it would be. But yeah, the system itself with the apps and the connections, you know where to go. You send us to the right places, and the community helps too. It's all every bit of it. It's intertwined. I don't know if you could separate any one from the others.
Okay, cool. That's not what I was expecting, but that's good feedback. Thanks
Yeah.
for saying that.
Don't you love the non-answers?
As long as you're truthful, that's all I care about. And for some people,
Right.
dude, that's good. We work really, really hard to keep those 3 things cohesive.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard to keep the people who are providing you support educated on all the things that we're educating and keeping the things that are built out up to date. We're constantly updating.
Yeah.
I shot 7 more videos this week.
Wow.
So if you thought you're 100% through, now next time you go into your training, it's going to say 91%. You got some more videos to watch. Besides, well, let me ask this also. How do you feel now compared to where you were before REI Automated? If you could just sum it up in like a word or a phrase, what would it be? How do you feel now?
Leaps and bounds ahead of where I was. It's just a matter of the time right now, and we're starting to free that up again.
Good.
So yeah, we'll be closing the little shop at the end of October, November. I think November's our last month.
Okay.
So, and with these 2 deals that we do have, the first one through the system, and the other one, the system helped because I plugged it in.
Yeah.
We got the lead and all of that outside of the usual.
Sure.
And it went through the system. It's in Asana. So yeah.
Great. Not closed yet though, right?
No, we're done. We're done with them. Both are done. The rental is now listed. Tindy's little job is listed.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's get into the first one. We'll definitely finish up the first one if we have time. Let's talk about the second one. So,
Sure.
So this first one, walk me through it step by step. First with how did you find it? You said it was motivate people. Motivated seller.
Motivate, yeah, it was paper lead, or paper, yeah, paper lead. It was
Okay, paper lead.
motivated.
What were the key numbers? What was ARV?
Yeah, the ARV was, well, wound up being just over land value. But what it was, I got it in, I guess it was the back end of December. I got a hold of her, I think the first or second few days. It was a few days into January, I think.
Okay.
But she originally wanted 40,000, and the numbers in the calculator worked, but it was a little high, and I knew it. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's work this out. It was a little fishing shack in Freeport, Texas. It was on a tiny little postage stamp of a lot. This thing was 650 or 60 square feet.
Tiny.
Yeah, a little thing, a little 2 bedroom, 2-1. It was built in 1960, and the wood posts in the ground. This thing was built on posts. It was just a few inches off the ground. They were gone. There were rocks shoved under it,
Yeah.
rocks and concrete to hold it up.
Yeah.
But the house was actually livable, I guess, for a desperate person. But she got it, I think, in an inheritance and never really paid anything. But she was living with her mother and was looking to just offload it. She can't afford it anymore and all that. Okay,
Mhm.
fine. Well, it had never been hooked up to the municipal water system. She was feeding off the neighbor's water well. And when that property sold, they cut her off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is going to be a discount, of course, going through my head.
Yeah.
So I called the water company. We set up they had to come out and figure out where the meter will go and how much it will cost. They had to bid it. All right.
Mhm.
How long is that going to take? 3-4 weeks. All right, fine. So we, go ahead and got that going. It was 3 months later. Finally got the bid.
Good grief.
So at any rate, it was a back and forth with, I'd check on her and she'd ask me if I'd heard anything. Well, no, I haven't. I can't do anything until I know what that cost is.
Yeah.
Turned out it was only 1,200. That was dirt cheap compared to the one we did on our other one just now. But the bid came in and we negotiated, and I told her, look, I got to tell you, this thing's honestly, it's a tear down. We did go down and look at it once, and yeah, I really can't do anything with it. And maybe the lowballer was not wrong in giving you the land value. I don't know what that was, but best I can do is 18. It's north of land value, but that's really the best I can do.
Yeah.
We're like, well, it's been going on so long. I'm thinking about maybe selling it to my sister and her husband. It's like, well, I can't blame you. I can't blame you. And if that's what you want to do, go for it. Well, a few days go by. I'd written it off. I didn't figure anything of it. It's 2 hours away, and I don't want to tear this thing down over a weekend and then put a mobile on it. And that's got to be a FEMA, or it's got to be a wind rated 2 at least.
Yeah.
Cringing at the thought of it.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm kind of glad it got let go. It sucks that I didn't get it, but circular. She calls, I think, 3 days later. Is that offer still good? I said, yes, ma'am. I gave her 18 cash. It was just under 20 with all the title fees and such. So I'm sitting here wondering how the hell I'm going to put a mobile on it 2 hours away. All right, well, and my lovely bride, Tindy, she said, why don't you just turn that thing around on the MLS? You've already got a realtor that gave you the one market analysis, the CMA. I
Mhm.
found one realtor that would do it. Real sweet
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah.
Just call Elena. See what the MLS is. That's funny. Okay, well, I'm not going to say no. She's come up with some odd sounding things in the past, and it always flies. Always. And I've been inside other homes with the FEMA thing. I know what people will live in, but will somebody willingly buy this?
Yeah.
It was a week later. We had a guy that was wanting to sign the contract. They sorted the paperwork, and he had some kind of a hang with his picture ID. I think he had to get a new one. It was 2 weeks. He was signed, and I'm expecting the first check in the mail, and they're sorting out today, hopefully, to get it electronically transferred in the future.
Okay. So hold on. Let me ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah,
Did you visit the property in person?
once.
One time.
Mhm.
Did you do any renovations?
Cindy called a locksmith after we acquired it and had him put a lock on the front door.
That is approved. Fantastic renovations. Good. Okay. From the time that you bought it, how long did it take you to list it?
Week. It was
Okay.
it was pretty fast. I forget the exact, but it was about a week. She suggested listing it, and Elena got a few pictures and put it up.
And from the time that you listed it to the time that you had an offer was just a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
So really the
Yeah, I
big
think it was.
hang up was the stinking city
They
taking
were
so long to tell you how
the
long,
water company.
right?
Yeah.
How long to hook it up.
And
All right,
and
cool.
I think that actually worked all to my favor because
Heck
she
yeah,
was getting
because she came down more or less than half the
yeah.
price.
Yeah, her bills
Cool.
were stacking. She said so. So yeah.
So was there a mortgage on the house?
No.
So ARV
The calculator said 40.
45.
Yeah, at the most 45. I mean, we got 50.
You because you well, I don't want to spoil it, not yet, but you
Yeah.
didn't just sell it cash outright.
Right.
So you got it for 18 was the walk away. The
Hmm.
repairs was nothing. There's no
Yeah.
arrears, right?
Right.
Okay. And so you listed it on the MLS, and the person came and they said, "Hey Dan, I'd like to buy this house from you, but I don't have $50,000. So how much should they put down on it?"
I believe he gave us 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 10 and
So
financed the rest.
you're holding 40
Hmm.
on this note. And what percent interest did you finance it for?
I think it's 8.
Okay. Well, you were very nice.
Yeah.
This is in Texas, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We were very nice about it.
Holy smokes, I would have been like 12.
Yeah. I cringe at anything more than 10, but you know what?
Yeah.
He seems motivated, and I wanted to make sure he sticks with it.
He's absolutely. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
And how long did you finance it for?
7.
So 84 months? Cool. So your payment coming in is 623.45.
56, 70,
Okay,
something like
cool. There's a little like a payment, an escrow fee or whatever for the very, very good. 650 is coming in. You got $10,000 as a down payment. You bought it for 18, sold it for 50. That's very,
50. I'm actually still kind of, did that happen?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
it's so cool that,
on top of that, he isn't even going to be living in the house. He's apparently going to strip it out and turn it into some kind of shop. He's building a house
right.
behind it way up in the air to live in. So,
Okay.
and he wants to accelerate his payments and pay more quicker. I'm not going to complain. I know what an amortization table is about.
Yeah. So do you know how much his first payment is going to be?
Not yet. He's supposed to have mailed the check, stuff
$1,000.
check on Friday. I hope. Yeah, yeah. To pay it out, that I'm not going to complain a second.
Dude,
So,
I regularly get, so this one's 323. This one's
uh,
1,092. This one's 1,018. 2,281.
nice.
1,615. Like,
Yeah,
I love getting checks in the
paper check
mail.
is so nice. Yeah,
So good. I don't, well, that's not, I prefer the e-deposits. I just have a
well, they're quicker.
couple
Yeah,
that are still, I got a couple that are hanging on
yeah.
to check slate.
Old school. Yeah,
Yeah, it bothers me to be, but
yeah.
money is money. I shouldn't have an attitude about it. Cool. So when you first bought this house, did you
Mhm.
think that you were going to owner finance it as the exit strategy?
I had considered it, but I didn't consider it because it was such a rundown old place. I didn't think it would. I didn't think it would sell. I had serious doubts when Tindy said that.
Yeah.
You know, why don't you just turn
That
it around
is
on her finance?
absolutely the way to, especially when you're way out in the boonies like that.
Yeah,
When you're
yeah,
way out and you have a house that just looks like this isn't financeable, especially when you're less than 100,000. Home
yeah,
financing is just
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. No bank would touch it, but on her finance all day long.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I see the light now, no doubt.
Was there any challenges that you had with it, whether in the beginning or the end?
Not really. I mean, starting off at 40 with the original offer, it kind of irked when I said it when I agreed to it, but I knew it would come down. I've gotten good with some negotiation skills, I guess, with the FEMA thing, figuring out and learning the person in
Yeah.
particular, learning the person. Now, short 10 minutes, you'll figure it out just
Yeah.
exactly what they need.
Right.
And then she would come down, and I told her, well, the water tap clearly, and as I inspect the place, clearly as I need to figure the cost going in, and she was okay with it. She was amenable to it on the phone.
Cool.
But I didn't expect her to take the 18, and
Sure.
she did.
So what was your net profit? I mean, I realize that you have 8% on the back
Mhm.
end. So of course that's gonna, have you done that calculation?
It's in the neighborhood of 12 if he rides it all the way.
12 what?
1,000.
Oh.
In interest.
Oh, in interest. He
So
owes you
from the
40,
50
it'll
to
be 52.
yeah, it would be 52 plus the 10 he gave us, so it'd be
Fif
62 altogether.
60 to 18,
Yeah, 40, 50, 40 something.
40
Is that 4? I forgot how
44
to
44,000 net profit. That's good. That's good. What was your biggest learning lesson from this deal?
the owner finance do it. I
Mm,
mean, we had the capability. We have a HELOC on our place to fund the rental that she's doing.
mhm.
That was the primary intent, and we were scared about the Freeport house. How are you going to fund it? How are you going to do this? Well, it came down to 18, and we were able to jump on it. I didn't
Yeah,
have to worry a second.
don't even think about it.
Yeah, exactly. We were running into that the money's next game, but
Mm,
I was starting to look into that and get it sorted, but it just worked out. It just worked out. It turned out to be a lot easier, in fact. But
that's real good. The second deal that you
mhm.
guys have, how much equity spread do you have on that?
We have not had it appraised yet, but our ARV estimate with a good realtor friend of ours that did a CMA, right? Yeah, that one. She's telling us 180-ish will be the ARV, and that's about what we came up with, 180, 190.
How much will you be in?
Well, let's see. The land was 32. The house was 60.
Okay.
We put in the septic was 9.
Okay.
We put in a 16 by 25 carport on a concrete slab.
Okay.
That
What
was
was that?
about another 20, I think, all totaled.
Okay. So
Not
that's
quite 20. It was like 17, 18, I think, but I'll call it 20.
anything else?
I had to haul in about 60 yards of material for the pad for the house.
Okay.
And that was at about $20 a yard. 60. It was 18, about 2,000 in material, just the dirt, clay. We had equipment cost. I had to rent an excavator to clear the land because it was fully wooded, and that
Okay.
was another 2,600, I think.
Okay.
I had to rent a skid steer to spread that dirt around, and that was another 600, I guess. We call it 1,000 with diesel, all totaled.
Okay. 126.
About, yeah. And it'll ARV at 180, 190 as we finish it. And the water tap was another 2.
So you've got about 60,000 spread.
Yeah, yeah, 60. And it'll rent for I got it listed now for 2,100 for rent. So
Okay. And what will the underlying payment be?
I don't remember. I haven't done that math. It's through our HELOC. It's like 6.5% right now. So it's
Okay.
a really sweet interest rate.
Do you know what your cash flow will be?
I don't remember right off, but it should be in the neighborhood of 450 if I'm doing them if I'm remembering. I
Sweet.
think the flow is 450-ish.
Cool.
So
450 a
I'm not
month,
gonna complain.
60K in equity.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna complain.
That's real good. That's
So
very good. Sweet. What's your next big goal?
more deals.
Getting some traction and it's
Yeah.
come pretty quickly, right? What was the time frame from first deal to second deal? Okay. More than half the year is gone. Our kids went to school today.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed a lot of school buses.
Yeah. All right. Very
So
good. Lastly, for anybody who is listening to this, they're not a part of REI Automated. Maybe they've talked to me, they're on the fence about signing up. Maybe like talk to your past self when you and I were talking before you signed up. What would you
mhm.
say to somebody who's on the fence about taking a leap and joining REI Automated?
How long do you really want to suffer where you're sitting right now? Because I was. How long do you want to suffer? Jump in. Like you got to make a decision. It's your life.
Yeah.
I wasted a lot of mine, and now I have what could be called a great job, but I don't want to die doing it. I
Right.
don't want to be a broken down old man when I retire and rely on some pension that may or may not even be there in 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
20 years, because
Yep.
that's the retirement age is upward to 70 now. I'm pushing 50.
Right.
Um, I'm just not interested. I love playing with the Tonka toys, but I don't like them that much. So, you have to make a decision, and I feel like I did the right one.
Cool. Good. I'm glad to hear that. We're going to keep on making deals to make sure that you know that it's the right one.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now that these are clearing out of our roster, as it were, with stuff to do constantly, and I still have to do some grading on the rental. Now, there's still work to be done. It
Sure.
needs the skirting, but that's going to be a couple of weeks out. But I got it listed this morning, and I'm hoping we'll get someone signed up for September.
Good. Is it already listed?
Yes. Yeah, I listed it this morning.
Sweet. Rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
Just
finally,
sold
finally,
this one like
finally.
a couple weeks ago. Good deal. We're
Yeah,
only a couple weeks out from. All right. Do you have your third one
yeah,
under contract yet? You have
not
one
yet.
on?
Yeah, not yet. Oh, wait. You know what? I am. Oh my God. Yeah, I have an inspector going to my FSBO tomorrow morning.
Okay.
You're
From
literally,
our FISBO
yeah,
challenge.
yeah, that from that. It's an interesting deal. It's in Big Sandy, Texas, up toward Longview. It is
Okay.
a remote, kind of a suburb of Longview, Tyler area. It's, I think,
Great.
directly west of Longview.
Great.
This guy's actually a former commissioner of the county, but
Okay.
real nice man. It's his parents' old place. A little 3-2 brick. It's got a 2-car attached garage, concrete driveway. It's pretty standard. It's just really dated.
Yeah.
I think it's 1,100 feet or almost 12. But the big thing is it's a corner lot. There's a street, and in the backyard there's a second building. It's a 24 by 40. He says it's an old man cave. It's a single room thing,
Cool.
and it'll be a perfect second unit. It'll need a total build. The siding on it is shot. It'll need an air conditioning unit. It'll need walls inside.
Or you could just owner finance it out as it sits.
I could, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
That's exciting. I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that you have a third one in the works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really looking at turning that into a double rental. I think that would be just crazy.
Yes, especially if you have a lot of equity into it.
Uh-huh.
Now it's a good time to hold on to assets rather than selling them off.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to let anything go.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, if it means I'm owner financing and letting it go, so be it. The interest is fun.
Yeah. Interest, holding a note is just as good as holding paper. Use pros and cons for both. Right. Good deal.
Yeah.
That's exciting. That's fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
Really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
There is another FSBO that'll kick up in September. They're out of town for several weeks. So,
Okay. You already have.
it's a little 3-2. It's in Conroe. It's a nice little house next to a water park that they just built, and we'll see. They're willing to sell to us, but they're going to be tight on their numbers. It's
And
we'll
then
see.
you'll tell them, it's not really my thing. It's probably not going to be me. And then they're going to come back to you in 3 weeks and say, hey, what if I sold it to you at 45% of what I told you it was?
Yeah. Well, we can hope. We can hope.
I'm here to tell you it happens more often than you think, especially in the market that we're in right now.
I don't disbelieve you.
Yeah. It's a great time to buy
Yeah.
assets. Loan to 'em.
Yeah.
Cool. And thanks for sharing. Dude, this is really good. Appreciate your kind
Absolutely.
encourage your inspiration. I want people to see your story and just remind them these things are possible. To have the right education, right systems, right support. You got all those 3 things, you're going to be successful. Congrats on your success. Thanks for being here today, brother.
Thank you, Keith. Have a great
You're
one.
so deserving for this. Thanks, Dan.